Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Murray, and I'm the CEO of Medality Medical. We're a medical device research company with a patented platform technology with a number of transformative applications. We are currently pursuing a minimally invasive surgical solution for type 2 diabetes. Medality's story began when Dr. Mark Andrew, our founder and an ophthalmologist, became dissatisfied with the tools available to him. There we go. He became dissatisfied with the tools available to him to perform cataract surgery. He developed a technology that allowed the successful removal of cataracts without changing the surrounding tissue. That is when targeted cell separation and extraction technology was born. It is a patented platform technology that has a number of transformative applications, which I will describe throughout the course of this presentation. It works by passing a warm, low-pressure, pulse stream of saline across the opening with a rounded, non-cutting cannula, and it just aggregates targeted soft tissue cells, such as fat cells, into small clusters. The temperature, pressure, and frequency of the pulsation of the saline flow are patented key parameters to successfully disaggregate such cells. The disaggregated clusters of cells are drawn into the stream of saline in the cannula and immediately delivered into a collection canister without harming the surrounding connective tissue, blood vessels, or nerves. The cannula is part of a three-component system that also includes a console and a single-use sterile treatment kit. Following the successful cataract application, Dr. Andrew targeted the technology for the removal of subcutaneous fat, liposuction for body contouring. It was then observed that the non-invasive and gentle nature of the technology produced a highly viable fat cells that could be re-injected to generate a lasting fat graft in breast reconstruction and in face rejuvenation. Dr. Andrew then expanded the application of the technology to remove visceral fat from the mesentery, long thought to be a significant cause of metabolic diseases such as type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, among others. In 2017, Medality received an NIH grant for a baboon study and successfully demonstrated that its technology could safely and effectively remove mesenteric visceral fat from the baboons. Our minimally invasive technology is the only known procedure today available to remove such fat without jeopardizing the life of the patient due to potential damage to the surrounding organs, blood vessels, and nerves, thus providing the first important proof of concept that such a surgical intervention may be feasible in humans. Importantly, the procedure produced marked metabolic benefits in previously insulin-resistant male obese baboons, reversing insulin resistance and promoting significant weight loss. These results suggested that meaningful clinical benefits may be achieved with mesenteric visceral lipectomy, which have otherwise failed with other surgical procedures. In light of these positive results and significant market opportunity addressing the global type 2 diabetes pandemic, Medality redirected its efforts to concentrate on the removal of mesenteric visceral fat in order to improve glycemic control in people with type 2 diabetes. It is well understood that visceral fat plays a critical role in the metabolic syndrome. Visceral fat is more likely to raise the risk for serious medical issues such as heart disease, Alzheimer's, stroke, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes. It is also responsible for inflaming the body's tissues and organs and narrowing the blood vessels, thus elevating blood pressure. Second. There we go. In 2021, an estimated 537 adults worldwide and 37 million people in the U.S. as of 2019 were living with type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is a progressive disease that is associated with obesity, high blood pressure, and elevated cholesterol. When diabetes and other related risk factors are not controlled, they can lead to long-term complications such as heart attacks, strokes, blindness, kidney failure, and amputations. Even though many people suffering from diabetes have access to state-of-the-art medical care, a great number of them still do not achieve the therapeutic levels required to reduce the risk of complications, which creates a significant economic burden on society. They therefore represent a population with a need that Medality's minimally invasive technology addresses. Based on the success of the baboon trial, Medality obtained an FDA approval for first-in-human trial, partly funded by an NIH grant. The trial is being conducted at the University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio under the direction of Dr. Ralph DeFranzo, a world-renowned endocrinologist. The trial's primary endpoints are to demonstrate that the MVL procedure is safe and effective, evidenced by improvement in glycemic control and no significant adverse consequences. The trial is designed for 10 to 12 subjects with a 12-month follow-up period for each subject who has completed the enrollment phase. 60% of the subjects have completed their 12-month follow-up, with one subject completing 18 months. It is a simple procedure completed in less than 2 hours. After a laparoscopic examination to visualize the abdominal cavity and assess the surgical field, a 1.5 to 2.5 inch abdominal incision is made to directly access the area. The visceral fat is then successfully extracted from the mesentery. This slide you see in front of you presents the before and after images of removal of the visceral fat in a human subject. As you can see, the fat has been extracted and the surrounding blood vessels are intact. I'm not getting this to go. We have another slide here. It's not moving. I can keep talking if that's... Oh, there it is. Okay, great. This chart before now, this chart indicates that the ratio of the amount of fat removed in millimeters from the mesentery divided by the length of the bowel in centimeters is directly correlated to the improvement in A1C, confirming positive impact on the glycemic control in humans. Preliminary results in subjects where an average ratio of 0.76 milliliters per centimeter of fat was removed show a marked improvement in glycemic control, a reduction of 1.4% in A1C at 12 months, accompanied by a 56% improvement in blood glucose levels in target range measured by a continuous glucose monitor. In addition to such improvement in glycemic control, we observed a reduction in blood pressure of 15 millimeters of mercury and 27 milligrams per deciliter in total cholesterol. These overall improvements have also been observed in one patient on her 18-month visit. These promising results, albeit a small sample, show a clear positive association between the removal of mesenteric visceral fat and the reduction of blood glucose, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels, while being well tolerated, thus making this procedure a potentially viable adjunct option for the management of metabolic diseases for people with type 2 diabetes. Further research is planned for a larger cohort to confirm these results and prepare an FDA application for commercialization. The company's regulatory strategy is being undertaken by MICRA, our CRO, who's also overseeing the first-in-human trial for us. Prior to Medality's initiative of removing mesenteric fat, it received a 510(k) clearance from the FDA and demonstrated the success of the technology over other standard liposuction procedures in removing subcutaneous fat to improve body contouring through a clinical trial. The technology has been used safely and effectively to remove such fat from over 2,000 patients since 2013. As I previously mentioned, due to the general nature of the technology, the harvesting of highly viable fat cells from subcutaneous fat is possible. Such fat contains very little blood and provides a very robust harvest of clean stem cells that are naturally embedded in fat without requiring any processing. The autologous fat transfer application also received a 510(k) clearance by the FDA and produced favorable results in breast reconstruction, wound healing, and facial rejuvenation. Medality is in the process of submitting its third NIH grant application to fund a study focused on addressing hypertension. The technology has demonstrated in one baboon that it can be used to remove perirenal fat located around the kidneys, and that is linked to hypertension. In conclusion, the company has 2 FDA 510(k) cleared applications in growing aesthetic markets. It has obtained 2 NIH grants to support the removal of mesenteric visceral fat and is in the process of submitting a third application to address the solution for hypertension. It is the only technology that safely removes visceral fat from the mesentery and has demonstrated very promising results in addressing the type 2 diabetes pandemic. The company is seeking to raise $15 to $20 million to fund a 50-subject interim trial. This presentation is a short review of Medality's platform technology, and we're happy to discuss our our company and our strategy with anybody following this presentation. Thank you very much.